Flowers Tushy comes up, Sal comes up from the audience to smell her. And Sal's voice gets real creepy. And
oh, really?
Because he's smelling a vagina. And, like, to me, like, that wouldn't get me off. He gets off on it.
Yeah, but he likes to see those spitting things.
Yeah.
He's a weird guy.
Maybe he really is creeped out by me. There's nothing to be creeped out by.
There's
Absolutely nothing
creepier than Sal. Sal is a creep who I would never hang out with in a million years. And, I mean, he's just a very, very creepy guy.
Yeah. And my hair just gets real light, but my beard is like always so short it never gets a chance to get bleached by the sun.
I see.
Richard, what do you want to say?
You know, one night me and Sal and Joey Boots stayed at Mutt's house.
Yeah.
And something really creepy happened while we were there.
What?
Like the next morning, Sal was in the shower, and he opens the door.
Creepy thing.
What?
That wasn't the only creepy thing.
Oh, I know, but this is the beginning of it. Sal was in the shower, and he opens the door, and he whispers, "Hey, Richard, come here, come here." And I walk in the bathroom, and Sal is sniffing Mutt's daughter's panties.
Get out!
That is just weird.
Sal, she's 16.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Mutt, this is horrible.
This is what I have to put up with.
Why would you allow those imbeciles to stay at your house?
Home, yeah.
They were doing a comedy show right down the street, and it was like, they were going to have to drive all the way back to New York, and I said, just come over.
Why are people nice to Sal? Why are people nice to you, Sal, and you abuse them in the sanctity of their home? Honestly, I would never let you anywhere near my home or near my things or near the people I love.
I think that Howard was going to throw a party this summer, and you are the very reason that party didn't get thrown.
You are absolutely right.
What? You motherfucker. Listen, I didn't sniff her body. I sniffed her panties. It didn't touch her. It was completely
come on. If you don't know how outrageous that is. I mean, the guy's a nice guy. He's from the Superfan Roundtable. He's one of us.
I felt bad, and I told Mutt about it because I felt bad about it. So I did the right thing.
Like months later, but when he was in the bathroom, he came out and asked me if he could get some lotion as well. Like, it just got worse and worse.
No, I didn't ask that.
That's the guy's daughter. Dude.
But she's hot as hell. She's 18, Howard. We have to get her on the city.
16.
Oh, is she 16? I thought she was 18.
She was probably 16 at the time, maybe.
Whether she's hot or not, what does that have to do with anything? Is she really 16?
It's Mutt's daughter.
She was 16, and now she's 17.
So why smell
that's even hotter.
Even if she's a hot chick, what's with the smelling the
panties? Put this in perspective. Howard, if you found out he did that with one of your daughters...
I chop off his dick.
Right, I mean, like, that's awful.
There would be nothing funny about
it. It was leading up to the sniffing the panties, because I think Sal did something else, too.
What did you do?
What?
Oh, my God.
I didn't do anything else.
Tell the truth, Richard. What did he do?
Well, weren't you looking at pictures or something?
Oh, no, well, on the computer, yeah. But that had nothing to do with it.
Did you jerk off in Mutt's house?
No, I went on the internet to look at some porn while his daughter was in the shower. But I didn't have time to get some good porn going. I was bored. There was nothing to do out there. There's just a bunch of stagecoaches and Amish people.
Did you beat off to the thought of his daughter?
No.
Honestly.
No, I didn't.
Even after you left?
No.
Beating off to Mutt's daughter.
Dude, you know what? I don't want to go in a certain area because it's so weird. I really didn't sniff the panties because of her age.
Why did you sniff the panties?
Because there was a stain in there. I know it gets really creepy. But
dude, why? Like, let's say his daughter's really hot and you're attracted to her, whatever sick thing's going on in your fucking head. Why is the act of finding the panties and sniffing them? Like, I don't know.
I've always had that. Like, when I was 14, I sniffed my aunt's panties. I dug through the hamper.
But why did you look at the porn while she was in the shower? Like, how did you know she was in the shower?
Because he was all worked up and he had to beat off.
No, because she was in the shower and...
how did you know that?
Richard was watching a horror movie downstairs that was absolutely terrible. I was bored out of my mind.
This is horrible.
I went upstairs.
This is a joke.
No, I went upstairs. I watched some porn to pass the time. She got out of the shower. I went in to take a shower next, and the panties were unfolded right in front of my face. So,
wait a second. Can I say, you don't think
it was
to lock
inviting.
The door? I'm already going to accept your wacky idea that this is right to do. It doesn't dawn on you to lock the door?
Dude, she walked out of the shower and left the panties on the floor.
Right, and then you have a thought in your head to sniff them. At least turn around and shut the door.
Well, at this point, the panties looked so nice and they had a little interesting stain on them. I call Rich. I go, dude, what do you think? And Rich is like, whatever. And I sniffed them. And that was it. But it doesn't mean I'm sick or perverse.
This is just crazy.
Hey, Sal, can we talk?
Needless to say,
Mutt, I'm sorry.
Needless to say, I haven't invited Sal back.
But,
yeah, smart man. They learned.
But I did feel bad about it, Howard, and I told him at the next. I go, you know what? I go, I feel a little weird about this, but I sniffed your daughter's panties yesterday, and I'm sorry.
You told him
because I felt bad.
Told me like months later, after all the other comics knew all about it.
Do
No,
you think she left her panties there intentionally for you?
No, I think she left them. But Howard, I tell you, this is the hottest girl you've ever seen.
That doesn't matter.
I don't care how hot she is. It's Mutt's daughter.
Because it was a
in his home, accepting his hospitality. You don't do that to his daughter.
Well, that's why I apologize.
He's being nice. You know how many guys would fucking bury you in the backyard after that?
I know. Mutt was really gracious.
Gracious.
He was grateful.
He was grateful that you smelled his daughter's panties?
It was just more out of curiosity.
Wow. Ralph, go ahead. What do you want to say about this, or anything?
Hey, now, another thing Mutt didn't get to on his list was that you can hear Robin better when you turn on her microphone.
Oh, wow, Mutt. I'm sorry you didn't say that. Mutt, I got to tell you, thank God you're with us now. I'm learning so much.
Howard, can we please bring down Mutt's daughter?
I almost fell over.
She's absolutely
Sal,
stunning.
no, because we got to keep you away from her.
I'll do anything to
you really are
see
like,
her in a thong.
But you talk
She's amazing. Not anymore.
You talk the way that, no, I'm not joking about this, you talk the way a pedophile talks. Like, I saw it, I couldn't help it. I had to. I needed to get to it.
Really?
They were so enticing.
Yeah, and I don't even like younger women, and that's the thing.
No, you're like a sex offender.
Mutt, how old is she?
She's 17.
Okay. I thought she was 18.
The panties were in the way, and they just happened to fall on his face.
But
you know what, Mutt? Not for nothing. Tell your daughter to put her shit away next time. It's her fault.
You know what? No matter how old she is, it's kind of nasty.
It was nasty. The panties were nasty. That's why I sniffed them out of curiosity.
But I could think of the prettiest girl in the world, and I wouldn't want to sniff her panties. I want to fuck her.
It's a weird
But
thing.
Sal's like an investigator. He wanted to find out what the stain was.
It's like a dog.
That's why, right. That's why I called Richard up, and I said, should I sniff him? And Richard said, yeah. And I don't know if he sniffed.
Hey, Sal, can we talk about that interest? No, huh? All right.
What?
No, we can't.
Talk about what?
No, I didn't do anything wrong. What, the Jack Jacks?
Yeah.
What is this?
What are you doing now?
In Portland, Oregon, the fans took me out to a Jack Shack, which is a boothless booth. It's a booth without the window.
What do you mean, you jack off?
It's a couch. It's a couch that faces another couch.
Right. Yeah.
And she puts her feet up on the hand rests on your couch, and you put your feet up on the hand rests of her couch.
Right.
And she diddles herself, and you go to town on yourself, and it's a big mess.
But there's no glass, Howard. There's no glass
No
separated.
glass, nothing. I mean, that's cheating. That's blatant cheating.
Wait a second.
No, I walked in, and she said that, and
She jack you off?
No. I walk in, and there was a $40 entrance fee. I'm like, great, I'm already getting fucking ripped off. And then she goes, I take a $60 tip. I go, $60? I only have $20 left. And meanwhile, I just got paid from the comedy club. I'm peeling hundreds off, And she's like, no, it's going to be $60. I go, well, I got $20. She goes, I'll just dance for you for one song. She goes, would you like to drop your pants and masturbate? And she leans back, puts her feet on my headrest. She grabs my legs, put them on. I go, just do a dance. I got to get out of here. I was really creeped out by it.
Well, wait a second. Were there people? There was no booth, so were people around watching you?
No, it's a room. You walk into a room. I mean, it was like a brothel.
Good looking?
She's Puerto Rican, not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
One of her teeth was chipped.
Leave Mutt's daughter alone.
But I didn't do anything in there. I got in, got out. That's crazy.
All right. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, Mutt.
Wait, Howard.
All right, thank you.
When do you think Sal's just going to just go over the line? You won't be able to forgive him, and it won't be good for the show.
I hope he doesn't.
Why? What is this about me and you?
The line.
I know the line. I apologize to Mutt. I'm sorry. I apologize to your daughter. I've never done anything. You know
the line.
Okay.
He knows
the line as he's stepping over.
And I guarantee he beat off in Mutt's house with those panties.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There would have been
never beat off thinking about Mutt's daughter.
There would have been blood and piss all over my cock if I beat off with those panties. It was really bad.
Right, thank you.
Oh, my God.
Mutt, I'm sorry. That's disgusting.
I'm sorry, too, Mutt. But you do have a beautiful daughter, and we'd love to have her in here. Maybe
No, Sal, we don't. No, we don't want her anywhere near here.
She's hot.
Thank you. All right.
She's still underage.
Okay. All right, you can leave now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
What is he doing that he doesn't tell us? That's what I want to know.
Man.
Don't ask.
Thank you, Mutt.
Thank God Mutt doesn't have a son, otherwise Richard would have done something.
Right.
Hey,
Richard was busy with his panties.
Would you like to throw a nickel at my balls? Man, that is oof. That's like I like Sal too, and I really try to like him. Like he's one you got to try to like him, and I like him. But stuff like this really goes. You shake your head.
When you see that on TV, to me, I mean, there was so many wild things that happened today when Bubba and Dee were in here, and Spice Boy and Brent. But when Spice Boy was throwing the money at Richard's penis, he was winging it so hard.
Right.
Think about that. Like full force that there was penis.
And then he took that shoe,
And
and
whacked
it was
it.
like a hammer coming down.
I really think that they want to get the attention the Jackass people are getting. You know.
Well, they're getting it. Wait till you see that.
Welcome to the wrap-up show, a recap and behind-the-scenes look of the Howard Stern Show. Got a comment about today's show? Call in 888-STERN-100. And now, here are your hosts, John Hine and Gary Dell'Abate.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, John.
Welcome to the wrap-up show. John and Gary here, along with a cast of characters. Of course, J.D. Hartmeyer, new star of the wrap-up show. How you doing, J.D.?
Hey-o. All I heard yesterday at that meeting was you yelping. They said, "Here's Gary," and I just heard.
Are you excited for this Justin Timberlake album coming out?
Just so excited. I don't even know why I'm here. I should be out buying it right now.
Are you bringing sexy back, JD?
You know it. He's bringing nerdy back.
So much stuff went down on the show today. Start with Rappin' Granny and her granddaughter on the Sibian, one of the most unsexy rides I think we've had yet. And then, of course, followed by Bubba and Brent and Dee battling, and then, of course, Richard coming in with his penis actually all over the show, and then Sal, of course, one-upping Richard by offering to spit on it.
I do not one-up Richard. We work together.
I'm sorry. They're a team. But what I want to start with is sort of what the show ended on. Howard was talking about the summit and Mutt bringing his wife there and giving advice to the show and really rubbing it in on Mutt. And then Sal comes in and starts telling the story about what was that? And more important, do you think that you were put in a bad light during that?
No, it happened, but it wasn't done in a...
It wasn't your fault. I mean, she left her underwear there. You know what I'm saying?
No, it wasn't done in a... What I'm trying to say is that it was more of a goof. It wasn't done in a perverse way.
I'm going to stop you right there and tell you that you use that rap a lot to do the shit that you want to do that's fucking perverted. I'm being very serious. I'm being serious now. You use the It's a Goof rap.
Gary.
No, I'm being very serious.
Right, I know.
Well, all Sal talked about, that night was how hot she was.
Right, and we all agreed she was hot. But the thing is, when I walked into the bathroom and Richard was there, I saw the panties, I showed Richard, we giggled, and there was a stain on it, and I sniffed it. It wasn't...
So hold on a second. Richard, did you see it as a joke, or do you think that he got some gratification out of it?
Well,
be honest.
I think he tried to play it off as a joke.
Yeah.
I think he was in there before he yelled at me to come over and check it out. I think he was in there sniffing it.
No, because the door was open, I pointed to them on the floor, we both said, ooh, and as a goof, as a gross-out goof, I sniffed them. I'm not denying that I didn't sniff
I don't think
them,
it's a goof either, but even if it is, there's no defense for it. It's just a wrong thing to do.
Yeah, it was a little, and that's why, and I did, and it was a goof, but it was wrong, and I did feel bad about it, and that's why I felt obligated to tell Mutt the next day.
That's the part that I think is just complete bullshit.
What's that?
I felt obligated to tell Mutt.
In the scheme of things, you smell a girl's panties. Okay, that's what you decide to do. Then to make it up, you tell her father, "Hey, I have to tell you, I smelled your daughter's panties." Wouldn't it be nicer not to tell him?
No, I had to get it off my chest.
That's like, hey, let me tell you what I did to your daughter. I stuck my.
Yeah, okay, but you have to remember
people talk about this all the time. Sometimes, like, a guy cheats on his wife, and he goes home and he tells his wife, and he thinks he's doing a good thing, but really all he's doing is getting it off his chest to make himself feel better, and that's sort of what you're doing. You're getting it off your chest, but you're not making Mutt feel any better.
Hey, Mutt, I saw your daughter's panties. There was a bloody stain in it, and I got to tell you, as a favor to you, I stuck my nose in it.
Well, it wasn't done as a favor. The thing is, like I said, I pointed them out, we giggled over it, it was gross, and I sniffed them. The same way you would dare somebody sniff a pair of shitty underwear, that's what went down. That's how Richard knows about it. He was right there, and it was a gross out type of thing, and it's not right. And I felt bad, and Richard knew about it, and it was done openly upstairs, so I told Mutt because...
That's the part I think you get off on. I think you get off on telling Mutt.
Did you ever think...
No, I don't, not at all. I love Mutt sincerely, and I felt like I don't want this to get out of hand, and I told Mutt.
Okay, you and Richard know, and that's it, okay? And Richard's your buddy. He's not going to throw you under the bus.
Right.
So you can sort of take this, recognize that you've done something wrong.
Right.
Stick it in your back pocket, and promise yourself never to do it again, and move ahead.
Right.
telling the guy sort of way fucked up.
No, it is. I agree.
You know what? I just had an extremely a high amount of guilt, and I don't know if it would have leaked out one way or another, but I did tell Mutt. I called him the next day. I told him the whole thing, and Mutt was a gentleman about it.
You said you didn't tell him till months later.
No, I told him, I believe it was like the next day or maybe when I got home that week.
Mutt said that
you're just a plain sick bastard, Sal. That's all it is. You're a sick man.
Well, maybe I do need help. I don't know, but it was...
You are, because you can see in your eyes when you talk about it. You're a sick man.
Well, I'm sorry. If I'm sick, then I'll get help.
There is a passion there when you talk about it.
The thing is...
It's a weird thing for... I guess what we're trying to say is it's a weird thing that I think what we all get out of this is I have a little bit more compassion for you than the rest of these guys, but what we get out of this is that you don't recognize it's wrong in any way. Even right to now, you're like, it's really not your fault.
No, I do recognize that it's wrong, but the thing is that I don't have...
I recognize that it's wrong, but I don't never be on the end of that sentence.
No. Artie brought up, like, would you do it, like,
I don't have
what
a
if you did it
fetish.
to Howard's daughter? Would you have done it to if you were at Howard's house and you saw his daughters, would you
No,
have done
because...
that? Why not?
Okay,
so that means
can I explain?
Because you don't respect Mutt, you would do it to Mutt?
No. Can I explain? Again, it was a goof on a gross-out scenario. The timing was right there. They were on the floor. They were dirty. I picked them up. I sniffed them. I grossed
All right, that
out.
same situation in Howard's house. Do you do it?
So why is it different at Howard's house?
Well, you have to look at it two ways. There's one way of...
I don't think you have to look at it anyway.
By not doing it in Howard's house, you're admitting that, of course, it's wrong and offensive. And
it's not... Okay,
Stop. Yes or no? Would you do it at Howard's house?
No, I wouldn't.
Why?
What's the difference?
Well,
if it's no big deal, what's the difference?
Well, maybe I would if it was the same exact scenario and there was a pair... Look, it could have been Mutt's underwear for all I know. The thing is, I know, but the point...
You didn't say come in here and sniff Mutt's panties.
The thing that I'm trying to separate is that it wasn't a personal fetish where I went into the bathroom and put a pair of panties over my face. It was a pair of dirty soiled panties in front of both me and Richard. I picked them up and skeeved him by sniffing him, and that was it.
I think the thing we need to separate is you from society somehow.
Okay, I'm going to go around the room really quickly because I think this is where you're losing us. Is there anybody here that buys into the fact that Sal did it for the gross-out factor and didn't do it for some sort of personal gratification? John, do you think which one do you think he did it for?
I think he did it for the gratification.
Gratification.
All right.
He's a sick bastard.
Yeah. I don't see how gratification is out of seeing a pair of dirty underwear going, ooh, and then sniffing it just to gross your friends out.
What's gratifying about licking the Sibian after some porn star's been on it?
Well, that's a little different.
How?
It's a hot porn star, and, there's
you said this girl's hot, though.
She is hot.
But she's hot. Sal was goofing. That's when he's looking for attention.
That's Sal trying to get on TV.
I've got to say, Sal, I'm going on record. This is really disturbing.
It is.
I'm sorry. I'm praying. On one hand, I'm praying for the civilized world that you're bullshitting everybody and that you knew it was a joke.
Yeah.
But I'm very afraid that if this is true,
it's not.
You're fucked.
No, it is true. I think. We're not kidding around. It is fucked. It's weird, man.
Sal, I think that if you got into Howard's house and you got into Beth's drawer, her lingerie drawer,
I agree.
You'd be blowing your load all over
the place. But that's the thing. I wouldn't go through somebody's drawers and take a pair of panties into the bathroom for sexual gratification. Richard was right there. We both were skeeved. I sniffed in front of him, and the show was over.
But now here's the scenario. This is the part where you can't help yourself. Now you're in Howard's apartment, right? Howard has to... Sal, I'll be back in a minute. I got to go walk the dog. Go watch TV. You get up to go to the bathroom. You walk by the door of the bedroom, and on the floor there's a pair of panties. What do you do?
Nothing.
You know you're not walking by. You know it. You know it.
Listen to me. You have to understand the scenario.
He's not.
All right. Well, if you guys tend to think that way, that's fine. I can't change your opinion.
We're the
No. But the thing is,
am I the crazy one?
Right. It's starting to sound like that guy, like Jeff Levy.
The scenario at hand is that it was exactly that, and Richard was there, and it was skeevy. He was on the floor, it was a sniff, and it went down, and that's exactly what happened.
It was a gross-out factor. Like a piece of dangle that somebody ate.
Fred makes a real good point there. The Jeff Levy analogy is perfect because here's a guy who the rest of the world realizes is sick, and he goes, "What am I the crazy one?" That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you have a question for Sal. Who was your sexual blueprint, man? Because they're out of their minds. Who was the architect of this insanity that's running around in your head?
I don't know, because my parents are pretty straight. I mean, they don't even have sex.
You mean your father that was cheating on your mother at every turn? that wardrobe.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you get into this. That could fuck up
that might have started the ball rolling for him. You know, it's like everything is all fair.
But not to throw you on the shrink's couch, but really, what is your first sort of odd memory of what you might see as like a sort of odd sexual history?
But how would he know?
My aunt attacking me.
What do you mean?
Like 11.
Like molesting you?
Pretty
is
much.
this the one you sat in the closet and beat off to?
No, this is one across the street from my house.
All right, stop giving directions.
Oh, you're so full of shit. All right, whatever.
What did she do to you?
She would tackle me down. She wanted to see my penis all the time.
Oh,
so
really?
She would tackle me.
Well, what's wrong with that? No, but that's a traumatic thing to go through. That's true. How old were you?
You were 11? I was about 11 years old.
How old was she, would you say?
Probably like 28, 29.
Was she hot?
He's making it all up in his head.
No, she wasn't, but it wasn't. And I love my mother dearly. I love her. My mom's a saint, but my mom thought it was like kind of funny back then. Like she would laugh and I would start crying, and my aunt would take my pants down and she would like tap it with her finger and they would laugh and
You're
play
kidding
around.
me.
Get the hell out of here.
Now, if you're being serious right now, that is a very traumatic, awful thing. You were molested.
Were you laughing or were you?
No, I was crying.
And your mother would stand there and laugh.
They all thought it was a goof. Like my aunt would come over. I want to see your pee-pee. Let me see how big it is. How big?
Get the hell.
All right, I don't care. I mean,
did this happen?
Gary's asking me a question.
Why would he make this up?
I'm not thinking that he's lying.
I don't think he's lying.
I don't think he's lying at all.
Did this happen more than once?
About 3 or 4 times. But most of it didn't. The worst time is when she got him down and she kind of like pinned me down and she was like flicking her hand back and forth.
Oh my God!
And,
was she like masturbating you?
No, she wasn't. She was flicking her finger like on it.
So it wasn't a sexual thing for you. She was teasing you.
She was teasing me. Let me see a peep. Let me see a peepee. And
kind of like what Richard does to you, right?
Yeah. So but the thing is,
dude, you were molested. That's molestation.
And as I got older, I didn't look at it as molestation. As a matter of fact, I saw her at a wedding, like when my sister got married, and I said to her, "Do you remember when you did that?"
Right.
And I was drunk, and she said, "Yeah." I go, "Well, why don't you do it now and finish the job?"
Oh.
Yeah, because I don't know, maybe I was kind of like trying to turn it into a positive, but that's the weirdest thing.
Make lemon out of lemonade.
Turning it into a positive by getting a hand job from your aunt at a wedding?
I don't know, but that's the
time that Grandma had a gangbang.
That's the weirdest thing. That's the weirdest thing that ever happened to me.
That's pretty weird.
And I don't blame my mom because I don't know, like it's kind of weird. Like I don't know if she felt uneasy and she was just like giggling like over, like she didn't see it as a big deal, But that's how it went down, and it happened a lot in when I grew up.
Why did it stop?
I don't know. Well, we moved out of there. We moved 4 times, and
but she kept
I won't say what time.
She kept finding you.
He came in her hand and it was over.
No, yeah, pretty much so.
Hey-o.
It happens. If you want to know, that was my experience. But
well, maybe sexually you have a lot of issues that are different than other people. I mean, I don't know how to react to that.
I don't think that has any impact on what I did.
I'll tell you this much. I know a lot of people think that this is, sort of an easy fix and it's something that people in New York City do. But I'm shocked that you've never sought a therapist couch before. For real. Because you talk about a lot of things that are really abnormal.
Yeah.
Even for dysfunctional families, yours goes a far way. And I'm surprised you've never thought about doing anything about it.
Hey, Mutt, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, Sal, really sorry to hear about your penis issues, but let me get this out without interrupting me. I hear you twisting this all around, and that's not what happened, dude. You didn't call me the next day. The way I found out was after all the other comedians already knew about it because you were talking about how hot she was. It was months later, and they all confronted you and told you that you had to tell me about it.
No, if that's the case, I don't remember, but I did feel bad about it, and I sat you down and explained it, and it was wrong, and I am sorry, and I know you brought it up on the Superfan Roundtable to a certain extent, and you've been great, and Kimmy's great, and I've told you a million times how much I love you, and it was a bad goof. The timing was wrong. I was definitely wrong.
But don't say it was a goof. It wasn't a joke. You came to me and told me how there was a little period blood on her tongue.
Oh God!
Right.
Sal,
well, that's just right.
How do you say that to a guy?
There wasn't any joking about it. It wasn't a goof. You were told like Levy and Richard and Booth and
Richard.
You have to tell them about this now.
Right. Well, Richard was right there, and that's what I did. Is I skeeved out Richard by snipping it, and then I talked about it, and then I told you about it. You're exactly right. That all happened, but it wasn't. Like I said, I didn't close the bathroom door and relieve myself or anything like that. It was Richard saw it. I picked it up. I sniffed it in front of him. I skeeved him out. show over. It was disgusting. It was wrong. But I want to let you know, and I apologize.
Don't tell her that's a goof. Don't tell her that's a goof. I mean, you went on and on about how hot she is. You've talked.
She is hot. She's smoking. Dude, she's smoking hot. She's absolutely smoking hot.
Even that's too much to say.
Yeah, much.
Right, dude. I mean, you're going on about how hot she is. You go up to a guy's fucking... I mean, there was period blood on your daughter's panties when I was sleeping in your house. And I sniffed it. I mean, Mutt, how did you not hit him in the face with an axe?
That was my next question. Mutt, how did you not haul off? I mean...
This was months later. We're in the middle of, like, a comedy show at some firehouse somewhere, and, like, everybody's telling him he has to tell me. He finally tells me about it, and I'm not even sure if it's real or not, because it's Sal, you know, like, he could have been bullshitting. So I just sort of blew it off for then. It was been so long, and then a little later I got to talk to some more people and found out, you know, it was serious, and at that point it was just like, well, I guess I'm not having Sal over the house again.
Right.
But, you know, now that he's, like, trying to sell it like her panties were disgusting.
No, I don't want to do that to her.
You're claiming like it was a joke. It wasn't a joke. Like, you know, like, if you're going to say you're sorry, that's one thing. But then don't turn around and try and twist it like you are now, because clearly you're not sorry.
No, Mutt, believe me, I am 1,000,000% sorry. I was sorry when I told you. I said I was sorry again today. And it's not your daughter's fault. I did something stupid and creepy, and I'm sorry about it. And Richard was right there, and I skeeved them out about it. It was wrong. It was 100% wrong. Case closed. There's no place for me to go, Mutt. I'm sorry.
If anybody here has the time to do this today, what I would love you to do is sort of take the road that Sal's apology sort of morphs into.
Oh, absolutely.
Take the first thing he said on the air today, and then go like 20 minutes ahead and take that. And what you started off the day saying and where you get to now, it's just funny how it's sort of, it's like claymation.
You guys, you know what? You guys really do I don't realize sometimes the severity of this, except for this whole room and everybody pounding it into my head and Mutt being clearly upset on the phone. Apparently it is a big deal. And I'm getting that now, and it's not a joke.
Dude,
and I feel like
he could call the cops on you.
I feel like a retarded asshole, and I don't know what to say.
I mean, Sal,
you know what? It was just bad judgment on a stupid goof that I did in front of Richard, and it's wrong, and I don't know what to do. It's just blatantly wrong, and maybe I do need help.
Well, let's see if it's worth it. How did they smell?
I don't remember.
Sal, in those situations, just think about it as your kid. You know what I mean? As your 16-year-old daughter.
You're right.
How are you going to feel?
Well, he's got all sons, so
right. He doesn't have to worry
it's hard for him to
never be challenged by that.
Right. It's hard for him to understand that.
You say a gay guy did it when you
right.
Yeah. I mean,
Sal's boy's hot.
Yeah, right.
Right, and you're right, and I don't blame Mutt either, and I apologize.
All right, thanks, Mutt. You had a hell of a morning today, huh?
Yeah, it started out rough. I'm a little better now.
All right, take it easy, man.
You handle it well, Mutt. You handle it well.
All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about what Sal and Richard did in the studio today with Bubba and Dave. Yeah, I want to talk to Artie and Fred because those guys clearly weren't big fans. You're listening to the wrap-up show only on Howard 100 and Howard 101. Welcome back to the wrap-up show. Oh, man, I don't even know what to say after that clip. Now, Gary, let me go to you first because, one, I mean, it's entertaining, it's funny, everybody's having a good time, but some people are clearly put off by it, and some people think it's great. Where do you weigh in on that? You were in for that whole thing.
I wasn't in the studio.
Okay.
I wasn't in the studio for any of it. Listen, I don't want to get negative or anything, but I tend to shut down with these two when they get into that stuff. I really do. I mean, I'm sitting at my desk, and I've got a monitor to my left, and I'm listening to the show, but I tend to not look at the monitor. And I tend to, I don't know, I think that they've just gone into an area that just, for real, that just sort of, I don't get it. I don't get the comedy aspect. It doesn't, I understand why people laugh at it, but I don't even know if they're doing it for comedy or if they're doing it to mask something but calling it comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly. Because, Richard, you sound surprised when people are like, you're gay. You know, I mean, that's definitely gay. And you're like, no, it's just a goof.
And he's so secure, too, because he goes, no, I'm not.
No, I would never go as far to suck a cock or get banged in the ass.
Oh, wow, thank you.
Just today. But goofing around, it's like stuff we used to do in the locker room in high school, like
never
snap each other.
What locker room?
Like, we used to knock down like the fat shit when he was naked.
Harvey Milk High.
I played a lot of sports. I never had any of that going.
You know, there was weird stuff that went on in the locker room once in a while, like, and it was mostly guys bullying the younger guys in some sort of way, almost homoerotic way.
Oh, it's
but I would just say, but this is just gone.
I mean, yeah, there was like towel snapping and stuff like that.
Actually, wedgies. There was a lot of wedgies going on.
You know what they used to do in our locker room of football that I thought was way odd and way gay the captain of the football team would pull down a guy's underwear, and then the other guy would spray him in the ass with right guard.
You know what we used to do? We used to urinate on each other in the showers. Like
they did that too, and I saw that once, and I told the guy, if you ever have a fucking thought about that, I'll kill you.
Like I'd be taking a shower and I'd feel something on my back, and I look down and a guy's pissing all over my back.
That's penalty by death.
Well, it was funny though. I just had to laugh. I'd knock the guy down, but I'd laugh too.
Look, here's the bottom line about this stuff. I think you two guys are hilariously funny without having to do any of that stuff. But in this era of jackass and shit, the bottom line is Howard clearly enjoys it. So whatever we think is, I don't love it. I really don't. I get very creeped out by it.
I would second that. I'm like Gary. It's like the minute his penis comes out, I check out of the fucking.
And it's not like these guys have to do that to be funny. They're hilarious
anyway. It was funny when those guys are like taking the vibrator and kind of jamming it up Bubba's butt or this one or that one. It's like that's funny. That's like hijinks. But the minute all of a sudden it's like, let me spit on it, let me whack it,
that was Sal's idea.
You're letting it happen.
I'm not digging it.
I like it. See, when Richard came to me and he said, with Rapping Granny, can I show her my penis? And I said, yeah, go in. Don't go in with it out, but go in and ask if you could do it. And I thought that was really funny.
Right.
Rapping Granny's reaction to the penis was funny. And even when you went in that time and you wanted, what's Bubba's the guy's name? Spice Boy, to throw a penny at it. I thought that was a little odd, but I could even stick with you till there. Once Sal's kissing it and everyone's touching and you're leaning it on people's shoulders, it's just a whole other weird area.
But Howard clearly does. He laughs hard at it. And so, I mean, that's it. Bottom line, case closed. Howard likes it. They'll keep doing it.
It looks funny on TV, too, I have to admit.
It looks funny in real life.
Is that what provokes you to do it, knowing that Howard's going to love it? Is that what makes you push it over that gay edge?
The gay friend.
I'm speechless. I'm still thinking about my aunt right now. I'm not gonna,
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm in a different world.
It's very Love Me Daddy, though, and Howard's daddy.
I think you should talk to somebody, Sal, about it. I'm being serious. You really should.
We just do it with, we just think it's a goof. I mean, when I asked to spit on Richard's penis, I know it's going to get a crazy reaction.
Well, here's another weird thing that goes on with Sal. Sal's wife has given him a whole bunch of rules regarding women. But she sort of said, I know you and Richard. I know you're not gay. I know you guys. So there's no rules for what goes on between him and Richard, right. And that's where Sal gets to unleash that energy. There's no rules, right? Your wife is like, I don't care what you two idiots do, right?
Right, as long as you do it with each other. It's not as long as Richard's not a female. I'm in the safety zone.
I do have a question about Sal. I'm not clear on that whole thing this morning. Was you and a stripper? And you had your thing out?
No, I wasn't out. I said I just sat down.
He said he didn't do it.
He had the opportunity, and that freaked even him out.
Right. Oh, so you did do it?
No, I did.
I wasn't sure.
How would your wife feel about the mutt panty thing?
Not good.
Really? Yeah, I mean, I would assume.
But see, that's why I think that even she recognizes it's not a joke that you get off on in some way. Because if she thought it was a joke, she'd be irritated, thinking you're acting like a fool. But I think it pisses her off.
The sad thing is,
and
I hope Richard could back me up on this. The sad thing is that it was just like a stupid, gross-out goof that's kind of manifest if you can.
But that's what pissed him off, Sal. That's what pissed him off.
Can you explain a little bit?
Well, yeah, we were laughing about it. The only thing, you did keep saying she was super hot.
I know, and we agreed on. I mean, she's an attractive girl, but it's bad that.
I admit it was really funny, like that he was. When he's creepy like that, it makes me laugh.
Here's a question,
but it's wrong either way.
Mutt's 400-pound daughter that you're not attracted to. Still funny? Still do it?
Probably because we got Steve by the underpants. We were both
Steve. But that's what's pissing Mutt off, and I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either.
He's twisted around.
I know,
and now you're saying you were grossed out by it. Neither one's a compliment.
No,
but now you're saying, it was so gross I did it, which is you're making fun of his daughter in
I know, either way I lose, and I feel bad about it.
Which is true then.
It's exactly the way me and Richard explained it. We saw it there. I picked him up.
I'm not sure what way is it.
I know you keep saying we saw it. You saw it. You told Richard.
I pointed him out to Richard, and I picked him up and sniffed him. I grossed him out, and we were laughing, and that was it.
Len in Palm Beach, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hi, how you guys doing? I'd just like to mention here about Sal and Richard. I think that deep down they wouldn't mind experimenting with each other.
Let me ask you guys a question.
I disagree with that as far as Sal's concerned, but I got to be honest, and I love you to death. I think Richard could be provoked into, like, kissing a guy.
Yeah, one night when, I had a little bit too much to drink or something. I mean, I understand that they're doing stuff.
Well, during the last roast, Richard was kind of like acting amorous.
Here's a
that
was when we were on the air being goofy, it's.
But okay, well, wait a minute. Let's go back to what started this whole thing. You nudge a guy in private and say, "Hey, the guy you work with is good looking." Like doesn't that seem gay to you?
I thought he was just breaking my balls. I heard him loud and clear, but I thought he was just. I thought he was just trying to. Get attention, so I brushed it off.
What about that, though? I mean,
I was being goofy when I said that.
No, you weren't.
No.
Come on, Rick.
No.
I got a question for you.
But it is surprising that, like, on a radio show with,
stop
like,
it. You don't
like
have
us, none of us are good looking. You know?
I got a question for you guys. Sal, who's probably one of the top porn stars that you've ever seen that you love?
Audrey Hollander.
What do you think of Audrey Hollander? Hot?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not married, Sal. Would you guys do a threesome with her? It's you two and her?
Absolutely. Well, I have a girlfriend. So.
But I was saying if you didn't.
But I wouldn't mess with Sal.
Yeah, neither would I. But I wouldn't mind.
I'd slap sacks with him, but I wouldn't touch him.
I've had a threesome with one of my buddies once before. When I was 17 years old.
I know a lot of guys, straight guys who've had threesomes, and
you mean two guys and one chick?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the high five thing where one's fucking her from behind, and they get into it. And
telephone, they play telephone, one in the mouthpiece, one in the receiver.
Yeah. and again, I've always been sort of with you there. That's kind of. Gross. And the one time I tried it worked out pretty badly, as you know.
That sounded hard.
I've never been down that road, luckily. Justin, you're on a wrap-up show.
Okay, here's the thing with Sal and everybody. They, hearing the girls on the Sibian, that's great for Fred, Gary, and Artie. I mean, Gary would give his firstborn just to see tits on the Sibian every day. But the thing is, when you guys do the gay stuff, hearing the reaction from Artie and everybody, for those of us who don't have a visual on it, and it's a radio thing, we hear the girls all the time, it's funny to hear that. And
right, I think that's what Howard realizes, and that's what he likes about it, which makes sense.
If he liked it, it might not be that good.
And Sal, I got to say that to me, you're the funniest one on the show. I mean, you've really been going above and beyond, and I think you have a lot of dark secrets that that you actually come out and say, and a lot of the other guys around you won't say.
Right.
Like, you just let it out there, and that's what makes you great.
Thanks, but
who's that? Your aunt on the phone?
I feel awful.
Hey, that's the point. He's funny without having to do this.
The thing is that this guy hit the nail right on the head with one thing. Me and Richard don't look at it as gay. We look at it as getting a rise out of the crew, which hopefully will translate to people freaking out and laughing.
So why don't you just go for broke and just fuck him in the ass and make us howl with laughter?
Because you don't have to go there.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest here. I'm not talking about what's good for the show. Like, that guy, I get it. The reaction is funny. I'd laugh, too, in the car. I'm talking about me being selfish. It grosses me out in the studio.
But that's one of the reasons that we do it, though, Artie. It's funny.
I know.
Nobody's calling Steve-O gay for drinking horse cum.
Oh, I am.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, but a lot of people are, Sal, actually.
Yeah, but not to the degree of Jackass is too gay, Jackass is too over the top. I mean, it's just, what is it doing? It's eliciting some sort of emotion, and that's what me and Richard try to do. When I say to Richard, let me spit on your cock, we both know we're not gay, but the action of me doing that.
Right.
And
wait. Say that. The Albert Brooks of gay shit. Say that sentence again.
When I say to Richard, let me spit on your cock.
Stop.
Say it again.
Check, please.
There's no physical touching, but it's an action that's going to elicit an emotion to cause Artie Lang to get up and run out of the studio, and we find that to be amusing. It's almost like a live prank in a sense. The same way me and Richard get under people's skins over the phone, we know how to push Artie and Fred's buttons in the studio, and that's why I think Howard's laughing, because he's seeing a prank unfold live before his eyes. And me and Richard, we'll take the blame as being two queers, two fags, two homos, but we know that in some way it's eliciting something funny and gay.
Hey, Sal. Yeah. He'll laugh a lot harder if you fuck him in the ass. I promise you.
Have you and Richard ever sat down and sort of talked about where the line is, or do you just sort of know?
We don't. We don't. The funny thing is that we don't even talk about
anything. Like when Richard went
So
in
you
there,
guys go back and you don't discuss, like, dude, you were so close to get to my dick.
No,
It's crazy.
never. No, that's
See,
the
the
weird
jackass
thing.
shit that I like is
You know
not
what
the
we
gay
did?
stuff. I laugh when they jump into a ceiling fan that's moving. That's funny.
See, to me, the jackass stuff when Steve-O stuck a bottle rocket in his ass, and the bottle rocket was tied to Party Boy's penis, and it made his penis fly up. That was hilarious.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Gary, really good.
Gary, could I be honest with you?
I fast forward
Could
to
I
that.
be real honest
hold
with
on,
you?
yeah.
Richard, if you ever come to me like you did today, put your cock at me, I will break your cock.
No, yeah.
I promise.
And I got to tell you, I would be on Ronnie's side there. I really would.
You're going to have to find a very gay judge to let Ronnie, put Ronnie in jail.
I'll be careful, Ronnie.
Robin in Maryland, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Hi. What I think is totally funny is that Artie is telling Sal that he needs to talk to somebody.
Well, look, I've been through a lot of fucked up shit, but my aunt never gave me a hand job.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thought that was pretty ironic.
Thanks, Robin.
Yeah, thanks for misusing the ironic term again.
I mean, Sal, you look like a deer in the headlights now. I mean...
A lot of things going through my head. You guys have really made me realize, I don't know, the severity of this. I feel so bad for Mutt and stuff, and he has such a beautiful daughter. And
Sal, every time you say that, man, I get a douche chill, dude.
Hold on,
Really?
let me finish.
I know, he's got it. You clearly
Well,
want
Artie,
to fuck her.
you
I mean, you clearly
have to
want...
make me finish this thing. And, you know, it's not fair to her that she had a normal female process, and I made a goof out of it. And you know, it's not right.
What happens is
And I just
sometimes
feel-
people drink and they have normal female processes.
Sal, that's exactly how pedophiles talk about the little people they love. They're like, oh, I feel so bad for her. I love her. She's so attractive.
No, I mean, it's not. She shouldn't be in
Sounds
the
like that guy
spotlight
who
with this, and I feel bad about it. How am I supposed to? What am I supposed to say, Artie? That I did something
You should
good?
feel a bit worse about Mutt.
I do feel bad. I feel horrible for Mutt, and I'm glad that he's a man enough to be okay with it to a certain extent. But I don't know what to do. I'm just thinking about what happened to me and what you guys have brought up in my life, and you guys are finally making me realize what I did was wrong, and I don't know how to deal with it.
If everyone was high-fiving you, you would say this was the greatest thing ever.
Right, Benji, you're right, and nobody is. And that's what's making me realize it. Nobody is high-fiving me, and I feel like a fucking filthy creep right now, and I don't know how to deal with
get
it.
around people that will high-five you about it. Then you'll
That's not the issue. No, high-fiving is not the
You
issue.
are a filthy creep. You can get around them. They're all on Rikers.
They're an ambush.
So what's the next step, Sal? What do you do?
Suicide.
Going to his aunt's house tonight. What do you think?
I don't know. I just,
I just hope your aunt doesn't hear about that.
But you got it. Listen, panties. I'm not into it. It's not that unusual. Obviously, guys
Right,
on the
no, I
internet
get that, but it's unusual for an underage girl in the house of her father.
We're guys doing you a favor, by the way.
We're not talking about sniffing panties.
And then talk about how hot she is and how she should come down to the studio, and it's just all...
Thanks, guys.
We're going to have to talk to Benji's aunt next.
Thanks, everybody, for coming into the studio today. Sal, thank you for just being here. And, of course, JD, anything you want to say?
Don't sniff panties.
You've been listening. Go ahead, JD. Bring it sexy back. Listen to the wrap-up show at Howard 100 and 101.
Listening to the wrap-up show.
A heavy show, was it?
Yeah, there was a wrap-up show, and I guess people were coming down on Sal because I was really put off that he had sniffed Mutt's daughter's panties.
That was horrible.
Yeah, I
forgot about that.
And I just didn't get it. And then I don't know what happened, Gary, on the wrap-up show. What did Sal admit to?
All right, go to the Emmys page. I sort of hid these clips.
Is he committing crimes?
No.
This is heavy.
I actually feel bad for him.
Yeah.
You'll hear why, though. It's just...
All right, here's Sal. You want to set this up?
What is the first one called?
Sal Comes to Grips.
Right.
Sal Comes to
Sal
Grips.
Comes to Grips. I think they're in the wrong order.
All right, Sal defends not being, and then locker rooms and Sal's aunt story.
Sal's aunt story. So it starts that way. So
okay.
We're talking about this, and it explains itself.
Sure.
Look, so now at this point, it is as if we have smacked Sal in the head with a 2x4. He's so dizzy, he's barely paying attention to the show.
He doesn't realize what he's done.
Well, as he's thinking about it, and Artie, because I know he respects Artie a lot, Artie's going, dude, you were molested. Right. Sal's literally in front of us coming to the realization that he might have been molested.
Wow.
Oh, God.
So then what's the next clip? Sal Comes to Grips, Sal defends not being, or locker rooms?
It was a weird thing. Like, he did something that was sort of even more disrespectful to Mutt in a way. he sort of backtracked and said, I wasn't turned on by the panties. I thought they were gross. It was a gross
Yeah, that was
outfit.
bullshit. Yeah.
And
That was
it's right.
And then,
First
you know,
of all,
and
it's
by the-
bullshit.
that's
Second
all
of all,
bullshit.
how does that make Mutt feel better?
Right.
Now you're grossed out by my daughter, so you sniff the panties, and you're fucking with me in my own house that way?
Yeah.
It just didn't. He was really in a corner, and then in this corner that we backed him into, he came out with this.
See, that's why I don't know with this.
Really?
No, I believe him.
I mean, I tend to believe him.
I'm on the fence right now.
Really?
I think
I looked at his
he
face.
was disrespectful to Mutt and his family, and you don't go to someone's house and sniff the daughter's panties. And obviously, he was turned on by the daughter. This bullshit about him being gross,
Right?
It's a bunch of horseshit.
No, I agree with that.
Number
Yeah, we
one.
all sort of agree with that.
Did you hear number two, when this story, I mean, I don't know, maybe it is real, maybe it isn't, but it was kind of like, well, you better, feel bad for me because look what happened to me.
Right. This is the guy who killed somebody and then says, hey, I was abused by my family all my
I
life.
don't think it was like that, though.
It wasn't. You had to be there.
Defend Sal.
Yeah.
Where is Sal? These two were not related. It's like this kind of came up as like, because I was trying to get into his head. I said, who's the architecture for your sex life? I was like, who made you think this way?
Right.
And then it led to that path.
Right. And Sal gets into these weird funks like now, like all of a sudden, sometimes you can't keep him out of the studio. Now it's like, no, that's okay. I don't need to be in.
Sal posted an apology to Mutt on Stern Fan Network.
Well, we're working on the chronology of Sal's explanations from this show to the wrap-up show and how, at first it's almost like he did nothing wrong, and by the end he's so apologetic.
Hi, this is Sal Goobernale.
Yeah. Are you talking to Mutt or is Mutt mad at you?
I called Mutt several times.
What is this new voice you have?
That's the apology
voice. I'm
whatever it is.
my life voice.
Oh.
It's a voice. I have to say something. I'm sorry if there's a different tone.
This is the voice when the client lost $20,000 on an investment.
What I did,
it went belly up.
I put an innocent person in a bad position by being a jerk.
I agree,
and I apologize dearly to her. She didn't deserve this, and it's just wrong.
All right,
I feel really bad.
All right,
because
she's almost in tears.
My problem is that I goof around a lot, and I always put the goof first, not myself. And it comes back to haunt me, and I deserve it. I do. And I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a pervert to that extent. It was a goof, and she is attractive. There's no denying it. I put that all together, but the fact of the matter is that whatever I do and whatever I say, I always try to make it interesting or, for the show. And sometimes I don't think how much it's going to hurt me and the people that I love and the people who respect and admire what I do. And I feel so terrible about this girl because she doesn't deserve this. And all I did was put my stupidity forward, and I had to be a goofball again. And I always think about the show and how it would have come across, and I don't think about the consequences. And I'm glad that yesterday, after listening to what happened with the wrap-up show and everything, that it was a wake-up call for me, and that I really need to establish where the line is, because innocent people shouldn't be involved in my stupidity. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I just feel terrible, and it just because of again, without sounding redundant, because of my stupidity and my actions, and the fact that everything I want to do is for the show, and I always try to be a goofball, and I was prancing around with that girl's underwear up in front of Richard Christie, and we were laughing about it. I never thought it would parlay into something where somebody was going to be embarrassed and somebody's daughter would be embarrassed. That wasn't my intent. My intent was just to make it was a goof. And if it wasn't a goof, and if I was really serious and really perverted and I was really in a closed room, I wouldn't be talking about this. It was just a joke that really hurts me personally because I hurt somebody else. Mm-hmm. And that's what I didn't want to happen. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the listeners. And I'm sorry to you, Howard. I don't want to lose your respect. You've done
Don't worry, you never
so
have.
much.
Nothing to lose.
You've done so much for me. You've always given me so many chances. The fans have given me so many chances. And everybody says, well, the beauty of Sal is that he doesn't know where the line is, but I don't want that line if I'm going to hurt people.
All right, that's fair enough.
I think he's ever said.
Artie, do you think he should go wash his pussy?
Just squirt it with a hose.
I admire what you just said.
Yeah, Sal, but
the best thing is his makeup doesn't run when he's crying.
Yeah, you've got great makeup.
Sal, there's a bigger issue here, though.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Who respects and admires what you do? You claim
Who
that.
are you talking about?
Nobody, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, Sal, we're trying to
I know. Hold on.
Sit down. Where are you going?
He's getting a tissue.
Give the man some tissue.
His makeup's running. His Sephora makeup is running. Artie, you were saying?
No, I'm just saying, if clearly you have, sexual issues, I think you take things further with, being turned on sexually than most people. And if what you said yesterday on the wrap-up show is true, I think that might have something to do with it, and you really should talk to somebody about it.
I had a long time.
Really, the two of you can go into therapy together. Which one of you will make the call?
When I was listening to the wrap-up show and Artie's telling Sal you need to go into therapy, I almost shit in my pants.
And Elizabeth pointed that out, by the way.
Look, listen, I'm as fucked up as a person can get, but my hand never grabbed my cock.
Oh, so you don't have to go.
No, I should go for other reasons.
Yeah. You don't need
I'm just saying, Sal, before you do
He's on cocaine and drinking.
Please,
well, not cocaine, but
pouring the entire pharmacy into
I was
his mouth.
I was not trying to say I'm normal.
you telling someone to go to therapy is insane.
He's been on psychoactive drugs.
Am I wrong?
He doesn't think he needs
You're
to
not
go
wrong,
anywhere.
but it's just you should probably be on his lap.
It's the funniest thing. It's the funniest thing since you showed up at Casey's gambling intervention.
Well, yeah.
And by the way, I was very helpful. But no, Sal is a friend of mine, and I think, this sexual thing, it might cross a line to where, dude, there might be some sort of court situation going on, and before that happens, you better address the problem.
You mean he could get himself into trouble?
Yeah, look, if Mutt was a different guy and called the cops, who knows? Maybe there's something.
Sal came to me yesterday. He was pretty upset. He said, "Listen,
I know.
I don't want to.
Genuine.
He goes, I don't want to be that guy. Everybody thinks I'm that guy now." And he goes, and then he worried that what if they're going to press charges? I'm like, listen, what you did was stupid. There's no crime.
It's not a crime.
It isn't. But I'm saying
it isn't a crime. It's just.
It's creepy.
It's weird, and it could lead to something better. And if that really happened to you, dude, I feel bad for you. That's fucked up. It's really fucked up.
Don't feel bad for me. I was the idiot that did it.
No. We're talking about what happened to you.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Who got a hold of you yesterday after all?
Sal wants to be outrageous.
Right.
So I don't even feel when he sniffs panties, he's sitting there even sexually. Maybe he is getting.
I disagree. I
think he thinks it's a funny.
I think you're exactly right.
I think you have a confusion because you think there could be a separation. Sal probably has that proclivity, but he was goofing with Richard with Mutt's daughter.
If it was Mutt's grandma, he'd be smelling those panties.
But I'm just saying he was wrong to do something like that in a guy's house who's doing him a favor.
Yeah, that's where I got a problem.
Right, you're absolutely right.
Like, I always think you're normal, and then all of a sudden I hear you doing that.
No, he's not normal.
Right.
But whatever. Joey Boots, you're on the air in Belmore.
Hey, Howard, how are you, brother?
Hey, man.
Hey, I was there when Sal did this, and he's telling the truth right now. He was definitely like seeking some sort of approval for what he did, like laughing and everything. It wasn't like anything malicious, like talking crap about it. He was just definitely goofing around and.
And that day, Joey, didn't we teabag Richard and take pictures?
Yeah, it was that.
It was like a frat party.
That makes it right.
I made a mistake.
It's like a 17-year-old. You're involving a 17-year-old.
Right.
You want to do something to Richard, that's fine.
Yeah,
you want to do something to Joey Boots, that's great. You're talking about a 17-year-old girl.
And I
humiliated.
I
did tell him. I'm like, dude, she's only like 16 years old. I'm like, dude, you can't be doing that.
Where is Mutt? I never even spoke to. Did you speak to Mutt?
Yeah, he called it yesterday.
He did. Oh, good.
Oh, he called the wrap-up show.
Yeah. I just express my outrage because I don't. I've got kids. I've got daughters.
Right.
And
And when you invite someone into your home, you're
you gotta
letting
really
down your guard and
That's
saying,
right.
"Hey, I'm accepting you into my inner sanctum."
Yeah,
you don't violate that.
And this guy Mutt, genuinely, I just started to get to know Mutt. I don't really know him on a personal level, but he's working for us. I'm very, very impressed with him. I think he's a very nice guy. He's a super fan and super loyal to us. And it sounds like he's very friendly to Sal by allowing him in his home.
So I just say when somebody gives you that kind of access, you got to respect it. That's all.
You're right.
And that's it. And I'm sure you and Mutt can move on from there, but, you got to just build...
Yeah, Mutt's moving out of the house.
Yeah, I'm saying, I don't know if you'd ever get the guy's trust again.
I was trying to put it in perspective. Like, I just had Jackson, the intern, over. If for some reason my 16-year-old niece was over that day, and 2 months from now, Jackson comes to me and said, remember that time you let me stay over your house and did me a favor? I sniffed your niece's bloody panties. It's the exact same scenario. It's the exact. I mean, I would fucking flip.
Yeah.
Which right?
Bottom line, you got to stop sniffing underpants.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
well, you say it like it's easy to kick.
The thing is,
seems to me like it'd be easy.
But Artie, the thing is,
stick home with it. He felt that it would be okay. To
right.
He wants to be the wild.
If I said to Mutt, I took your daughter's panties in the bathroom and closed the door and spent some time with myself, that would be. I mean, it's wrong. Obviously, that's the worst thing you could do. What I did, that doesn't make it right what I did, but I went into like Joey said, like a shtick type of thing. Like I made.
You were trying to one up.
I was being an asshole by being a goofball.
Right, and you weren't thinking.
It wasn't sniffing the panties in a private sexual manner. It was
you trying to be the outrageous guy.
I get it,
but it's still wrong. But it's still wrong.
I think you're in denial about the fact that you're clearly way turned on by this girl. Even in your apologies, you always it's almost
and the second problem
you
alluded to. Right, and the second issue is it doesn't help me that the girl physically, by the grace of God, is an attractive girl.
Doesn't help you.
No.
See, Artie hit it on the head. When Sal talks about her, it is almost like the way a pedophile talks about a kid.
Right.
That's like she's a young beauty.
I love her.
By the grace of God.
Okay,
creepy.
Okay, but the point that I'm trying to make is that taking away what happened with the panties, if you just look at her for what she is, she's just a beautiful girl. That's it.
Okay, Sal. That's why I think there was something.
No, but
yes, there was something sexual going on there. I think you're in denial or just flat out lying.
No, because like Howard said, if it was Mutt's underwear, I probably would have done the same thing.
I know him. I don't know him.
I get that, but it's what you think of doing.
Right, but it wasn't Mutt's underwear. It was this girl's
right,
underwear.
and that's where I'm wrong.
Going on about how gorgeous she was, and you want to see more of her.
I think Robin's right there. I mean, it's almost like you're trying to get on her good side.
No, I'm not. I mean,
her looks should have no bearing on why you
what
did
I
this.
did was
it keeps coming up. Her looks keep coming up.
I'm saying that it makes me look twice as bad.
We don't know what she looks like. We only know your story. You're the one that's providing all the information about her.
If I'm Mutt right now, I'm going, dude, don't say she's hot anymore. Stop it.
Right, I'm not trying to say. I'm saying she just. I'm not trying to say it that way. I don't know how to express myself.
You are saying it that way. Just don't say nothing.
Okay, then I won't say anything.
What does evil Dave Letterman say? What is his slogan?
Brain in gear and take foot out of mouth.
No, insert foot. Something.
I should put my brain in gear before opening mouth.
Right.
How many times did Cromwell bury that into his head?
It was called putting brain in gear before opening your mouth.
Right, there it is.
There he is, Evil Dave. Thank you, Evil.
Sal, maybe we'll go to therapy together.
You two should hold
I hate to say it. I mean, you're very involved with your cock and balls. You know what I mean?
But also, it's the liking to spit on girls and the
hatred of women.
I don't have any hatred for women.
So here's the thing where I get freaked out, and I'll tell you what, like all those Sibian ride things, like Sal licking them and everything. All right, we're doing it for the camera.
About that.
But I've seen Sal pull people to the side and say, "Can you get me that?" Or want things where a camera isn't involved, where you just like having those things.
Are you referring to the piece of rubber on the Sibian that Sal likes to save when a girl rides it?
Yeah, he made himself in charge of cleaning those, and literally he licks them.
But you sometimes you don't like to do that. You don't always do that for the camera. That's where you freak me out.
For individuals too, he goes into like that shtick coma, but with people by themselves. It doesn't have to be a camera. Like he did it for me.
Right.
He wanted to shock me, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And the booze and your obsession with the booze.
Oh my God, that jerk Jack House you talked about.
Yeah,
that was weird.
You're teabagging Richard, and it's like. Put it away, man. I mean,
can I ask Sal a question? So, what were the repercussions yesterday after the show? Clearly, somebody got a hold of you, or you had was there trouble at home? Was your wife mad?
I wasn't crying like a little bitch for nothing. Believe me.
Well, what about your aunt?
Apparently, the little bitch got a hold of you.
Yeah, a few little bitches. So.
But how did she? Who fed her the information?
It just got around. I can't get into specifics.
I got you.
I'm just blatantly straight out sorry, and I wish I could change things. And
so cut another PSA, an apology tape.
Believe me, I think you just did.
We need the apology reel.
And that seemed pretty real to me.
I got to tell you,
No, I meant a reel of his apologies. He's going to apologize over and over again.
The blooper reel.
Yeah.
When he started apologizing, even just talking this morning, it was the exact tone that Jackie started with.
Yeah.
It's that low, sort of gravelly voice. I'd like to apologize.
Excuse me.
No, I think Sal's sincere. I just think
definitely
I don't think
sincere.
he's would ever hurt a person or he's evil in any way. I just think sexually he's got a lot of shit going on, man.
Now that we have the tapes, we could do a whole weekend of just apology shows.
Yeah.
Crying shows.
Crying shows, apology shows.
That's the one you've gotten me close, but that's the one thing I'm proud of. I've never shed a tear yet on this show.
All right,
I've come damn close.
There's a challenge.
That's horrible.
You got me.
What?
You got me. Remember I told you that stupid Elton John song makes me cry? You fucking played it and watched me cry.
Yeah. That's awful.
There's a challenge.
Hey, Artie, you got another 4.5 years to cry.
No, dude, I'm saying I do cry every once in a while, but
movie tanks, huh?
never. Yeah, I've cried over a lot of my movies, Tank, and believe me.
Nah, your movie's gonna do good.
I hope so.
He's totally sincere. He's not BSing right now.
I could tell too.
I don't think so.
No,
either.
that was an amazing Sal I've never seen before.
Because that's real me, and I'm glad that Howard kind of pinpointed it. I always put the goof first, and even if it makes me look like a pedophile or a freak or an idiot or, I just think of the goof first. I don't think of the circumstances, and that's my biggest problem.
We've been telling you that for a long time.
I know, every day.
You know what?
Every time Howard says, get out.
You don't go.
Right, I don't
I'm trying to tell you, get out.
I know, you guys have been telling me, and the audience has been telling me.
See, again, I think you're still missing the point here. Your biggest problem is not the
point. I'm seeing the point, Artie. Believe me, I'm seeing the point. I'm going to therapy. Believe me, believe me.
He's going to beat you.
Go to therapy.
Could you do that in the fishbowl next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock?
You don't want to meet the shrink here?
Could you do it on the air?
Whatever you want. I'll do whatever the show wants.
We got to get
before I completely snap.
Oh no, we got to get Freud.
See, but I feel that we are partially responsible in a way because we reward Sal for going over the line. You know what I mean? Like we cheer him on when he goes.
No, you don't. Let me tell you something.
No, right.
He's a grown man. Says you sound like the typical liberal.
Right.
Who
you're
says,
the guy.
"Oh, someone else is responsible."
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm not saying we're responsible.
Well, you just said we're responsible in a way. There is no way.
You're the guy who wants to sue the bartender for feeding the drunk driver drinks.
We're responsible. Sal's a grown, he's a big boy. Everybody who works on this show is responsible for their actions.
That's like saying that the makers of pornos are responsible for people that go out and rape people.
Right.
No, but I mean, I would love for the good of the show.
That's a bad example, Joe.
For the good of the show, I would love to have another 10 pig cocaine stories. I mean,
right,
that would be great, but it's not going to make me do blow just for the show.
I just want to go back to Gary's point. He doesn't do it for the show. That's Sal just being Sal. Because Sal did that, and there was no show around.
Right.
He did it for Joey Booth.
That's right.
He does stuff like this
Richard,
in his everyday life. So we just happen to be here when he does it.
Right. Right. This is Sal 24/7.
And he just happened to get a partner in Richard who doesn't mind having Sal's balls.
Who will also say, I see no problem with that.
Yeah, I could never even go back and watch the Sal, what was that, New Year's party tape where people are taking a crap in his
Joey Boots was
fish toilet and all kinds of crazy
I understand
crap.
that Sal, for Howard TV the other day, took a shit.
Oh, my God, Howard, it's so disgusting. He went to the bathroom to show everyone how he shits, but what he did was, this is the part that really freaked me out. He's got his ass off the bowl about a foot, so you just see the shit fly out.
It looks like a deer at a petting zoo. You ever see how the pellets fly out of a deer's ass?
Oh, my God.
Watch this one.
I ain't watching it.
Oh, no, I'm not watching this either.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Where is it?
Most show on it.
Let me get a log down. Hold on.
Here we go.
Hold on.
You didn't think that was going to happen, Jason? They're outraged. They're in the bathroom with him.
They follow me in the bathroom. I mean, what am I supposed to do? They followed me in the bathroom because they put toilet tissue down on the fucking lid.
Nobody told them to go do that.
Right, no, but I was taking a shit like a normal human being, and they took a camera in, and Jason came in there. And
well, most people shit with the door closed.
But how dare they be outraged?
You didn't watch that, Artie?
No, I did not.
You didn't want to see that, Artie?
You don't want to see Sal take a shit?
I don't love the scatological stuff.
You're not big on that?
No. Wait till you see Jackass, too.
Oh, really? Is there a lot of shit stuff in it?
Yeah.
That sucks.
But it's interspersed. You can handle it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right, let's move along.
All right.
Is that, I mean, are we listening to the rest of the stuff on the wrap-up show? Because I really don't know where it went from there.
What you heard was stuff, though. There was some good stuff on there yesterday.
What you heard was pretty much the culmination of the Sal stuff.
All right, thank you, Sal, and I appreciate your apology to Mutt.
When are you starting therapy?
And to his daughter.
Yes.
As soon as possible. Probably, I don't know.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
He's a couple of days late.
In fact, they're on their way to lock him up now in a straitjacket.
As soon as my wife allows me back in the house, that's when therapy will stop. I know that much. But
all right,
you're not in the house? Oh, dear.
Are you not in the house?
No, I'm somewhere around there.
In the dog house.
In the garage. All right. There's Sal.
Oh, boy.
Sal Goobernale. He's made other apologies for other things. And
we're getting a long list.
You don't happen to have that handy, do you, Fred? Where Sal goes?
See if I can find a Sal.
I'm Sal Goobernale.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Sal Goobernale. I would just like to apologize for racist remarks.
For anyone I offended.
Sal with the breakdown, huh?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
I'll just start playing.
Good stuff.
Joey, you
Hi,
had your moment.
this is Sal Goobernale. And unfortunately, yesterday on the wrap-up show, I made a few comments that some considered to be racist and offensive. If I did offend you, I deeply apologize from the bottom of my heart. What I was simply trying to do was make a joke over the fact that white women generally don't have sex with black men. It was simply a joke. And the joke got out of hand because in this situation, it was truth. People were offended. It doesn't matter what type of baby you have, whether it be white, black, Italian. The important thing here that we can learn from this is, A, you shouldn't drink and do drugs because you might end up in a situation that you regret, whether it's a white child or a black child. And B, I have personally learned that when I address things, I should address them in a much better way, in a specific way, as not to offend people. Black people, white people, Spanish, Italian, or whatever the case may be. I sincerely mean this. I sincerely stand behind the fact that I was joking, and I sincerely apologize over the fact that people were offended. I am not a racist. Thank you for your time.
Joey's laughing.
I never heard the word sincere used more times than an insincere apology.
That is the second time, by the way, Sal has cried on the show. He cried when he got the job.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he cried during the contest when his week was out.
Howard, I don't know if we've spent enough time on it, but if you look on that same page that you were on, I think it's at Emmy's page, in green, you know, we sort of did the chronology of Sal's apologies or explanations. You know, it started on the show, then it went to the wrap-up show, then Mutt called. By the time you get to the last one, he's just been whittled down to nothing.
Oh, yeah? The final apology, should I just go to, or should I go to the whole thing?
Well, start with if you're going to do at least the first one and the last one.
Joey's laughing.
You know the insane brilliance of this career you've built for yourself. You have over the years succeeded in surrounding yourself with nuts. We're all crazy, legitimately out of our fucking mind.
You think?
People get crazier and crazier.
Well, because everybody is crazy.
I said to someone one day that, Howard enjoys nutcases.
Yeah.
He does. And we've been a couple of times in danger because he enjoys it.
I'm fascinated by out-of-control behavior.
I was just about to say that it's funny you said that. Well, the first time
I don't understand it.
The first time I came in here with Norm and I was telling the Mad TV Coke story, you kept going, I love out-of-control people.
Right, yeah.
You said it 4 times.
My upbringing is almost like a military. I was raised by 2 military generals who didn't allow anybody to move.
He was in boot camp.
So the idea that one acts out is foreign to me.
Misbehavior
Misbehavior isn't tolerated in my world.
Everything is done by the book. So.
But Artie, he's gotten better at selecting the nuts. Because when we were in Washington, D.C., he wanted to have a sportscaster, but he was looking for a real nut.
Right.
And we found one. And one day after the sportscaster...
He found me.
He called in over the phone, and the first time I saw him, I said, Howard, that guy's really crazy. He goes, I love him. And one day after the sportscast, he completely melted down, was in a corner in the fetal position, and we could not get him out of the building.
Yeah, I said to this guy, listen, snap two. You're going to be huge. You're going to be the biggest thing in Washington.
No, because people, like, for the listeners, like, Howard really is by the book. Like, a good example, like, I recently loaned you a movie, a DVD.
Right.
And you got it back to me, like, right on time. It comes back exactly how it was.
There's no fooling around.
Thank you very much. It was very nice. It's like, and I even forgot I loaned it to him.
I was even
like,
sorry.
Most people aren't like that.
No. I was sorry you lent it to me because I knew that it was a big responsibility that I had to get it back to you.
Right, you have that. See, I'm that way. When I owe people money, I haven't in a long time, thank God. But even when I borrowed $20 from a buddy of mine in my gambling days, I felt awful. I didn't feel right till I got him back the money.
Well, exactly.
But you're that way with everything.
Gary lent me a book 2 years ago. I finally read it.
Right.
And then I lent it to my daughter, and I realized it was Gary's book, so I went out and got another copy of the book to give him back the book.
Right.
Because I felt, and Gary's like, I don't care about the book.
Right.
But it's just, I am a controlled. I can't tell you how my parents raised me like the Taliban,
well, in a
this
way,
is how things are done, and if you do them wrong, you're a vicious, horrible person. So there's such orderliness to this thought process. It's neurotic. And when I see somebody who just doesn't care or doesn't get it,
they got a clear head.
I can't even. I can't imagine.
Yeah. But that's not such a bad thing, Howard.
No, I don't say it's bad.
I think it's bad for Howard because I think it makes him crazy inside. But he treats people with a lot of respect. He conducts himself properly.
As opposed to being neurotic about that type of stuff, there's worse things you could be.
If I tell you I'm going to do something for you, I do it.
Right, and that's happened several times with me with little things like that where I notice, like, wow, it comes back right on time. It's there. It's like, most people, unfortunately, really are not like that.
Rich is still waiting for some movies from me.
Let me hear Sal's final apology.
You guys have really made me realize, I don't know, the severity of this. I feel so bad for Mutt and stuff, and he has such a beautiful daughter, and she shouldn't be in the spotlight with this, and I feel bad about it. What am I supposed to say, Artie, that I did something good?
You feel a bit worse about Mutt.
I do feel bad. I feel horrible for Mutt, and I'm glad that he's a man enough to be okay with it to a certain extent, but I don't know what to do. I'm just thinking about what happened to me and what you guys have brought up in my life, and you guys are finally making me realize what I did was wrong.
All right, well, there it is. Enough of that.
In everything, though, in every explanation, the daughter's hot.
Yeah,
the daughter's hot. I mean, it's the whole gets dusty.
He's got to get off that.
Right.
Yeah, enough of the hot daughter. Yeah. Enough of the hot daughter.
She's fucking 16.
Yeah, remember, anybody who has a daughter...
You keep him away from Sal.
Well, anybody who has a daughter... Nobody wants to hear about how hot they are.
No, you don't want to hear your buddies who are your age getting hot over your daughter.
Right.
Yeah, that's a sexual comment. I mean, you clearly want to fuck my daughter.
Right. And you know what? We don't want to hear it.
We don't.
If you're having those thoughts, keep them to yourself.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm doing today? Well, don't guess, but I'll tell you what I'm doing today. With my 205 days sober and clean, I'm taking my first lesson for my private pilot's license.
Oh, boy.
Dude. What are you doing,
That's
Boots?
what we need, boots in the sky.
You're going to get sober and then crash a plane into a mountain?
Come on now.
Boots behind the wheel.
Boots, you got 205 days? Congratulations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm thinking? The day that he starts drinking again, but now he has an airplane pilot's license.
It's going to be something really cool.
Are you working?
Yeah, I'm working.
Good. All right.
Yeah, I'm making really good money right now. I'm very happy with my life right now.
Nice. I'm really glad about that.
Thanks. And I have you guys to thank for that.
All right, Joey.
And you know what? I'm happy that you took Mutt's advice. I heard you on Bubba yesterday doing that cross promotion.
Yeah, I did. One thing about Mutt. I don't know his daughter, but I know Mutt. And Mutt's got brilliant ideas. Thank you.
You know, Boots, I'm celebrating my 12,408th day without flying a plane.
Hey, Marty, you can come up with me sometime. I'll take you.
Fuck you. That's what... took Greg Nettles one flight with Thurman Munson to go, you know what, you're going to crash this fucking thing.
Did he tell him that?
Yeah, in the book, and there's a couple of players, they went up with Munson, and Lou Piniella, Nettles, and Reggie Jackson all said, you know what, Therm, you're going to fucking crash this
Right,
thing,
right.
and we're not coming with you anymore. Bobby Mercer, too, and they're like, he goes, no, I can do it. They all got scared shitless.
Wow.
And there's a story in Seattle at a game, he couldn't land properly, and they were like, dude, what are you doing? And, you know, the sad thing, of course, 2 weeks later, he was dead. But they all warned him. They said, you're not ready. You're fucking crazy.
They are all alive.
Yeah.
Now, here are your hosts, John Hine and Gary Dell'Abate.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the wrap-up show. John Hine, along with Gary Dell'Abate, and, of course, J.D. Harmeyer. How you doing, J.D.? The big story today, of course.
Clever.
Started here yesterday, carried over last night, and this morning we heard it. Teddy, hit clip number 1, please.
My intent was just to make it was a goof. And if it wasn't a goof, and if I was really serious and really perverted and I was really in a closed room, I wouldn't be talking about this. It was just a joke that really hurts me personally because I hurt somebody else. And that's what I didn't want to happen. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the listeners. And I'm sorry to you, Howard. I don't want to lose your respect. You've done
Don't worry, you never
so
have.
much.
Nothing to lose.
You've done so much for me. You've always given me so many chances. The fans have given me so many chances. And everybody said, well, the beauty of Sal is that he doesn't know where the line is. But I don't want that line if I'm going to hurt people.
All right, that's fair enough.
I think he's ever said.
Artie, do you think he should go wash his pussy?
You know what I think is really funny, Sal? So that's at like 6:15 this morning. By 7:15, you were so recovered, you were in there with a giant black dildo for a girl to show how she gives oral. It was just funny. I'm not saying that it was fake. I think it was really genuine, but you recovered quickly.
It wasn't even so much recovery. I felt like I had to get back into the game and get it out of my mind.
Get back on that horse.
Yeah, because Howard even said, he goes, look, let's get Sal back to normal and let's have some fun with him later when the girl comes in. So I was looking at the dildo and I asked Rich, I go, should I go in with it? And I said, I actually asked Richard to come in with me because, you know, and he says, no, just go in and do it, man. It's funny. So, if I'm here, I have to work. You know, I want to get back into the game, and I'm trying to alleviate all the guilt and all the grief that I've been feeling for myself and for the guys.
So I heard that you caught a ride-in this morning with Brian Phelan.
Right.
And you were saying to Brian, oh, God, I hope this doesn't come over the air this morning. Brian, legitimately, not even yanking your chain, said, I'm sure they've already forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Brian, you got to spend more time with us.
Yeah, it was funny because I didn't hear yesterday's after show, so I didn't know this all went on. So I'm just like, you know what, just let it go. It's no big deal. Don't listen to anybody on Stern Fan Network. They don't know. They're all jealous of you, whatever. Just go in, don't say anything like it never happened, and it'll be gone. It'll be done with. You don't even have to worry about it again. Right off the bat, he's crying like a little bitch.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, but take us into that. Like, were you, because I've never seen you get like that before.
Yeah, well, that one in particular because, you know, basically laying in bed last night with my kids and stuff, and I feel like, you know, somebody got caught in the crossfire that didn't need to be there. You know, if I want to do these hijinks and these pranks and the stupid things that I do within this forum, so be it. But when I get somebody else involved and I'm not considering how it's going to affect them, that's wrong. And that's when it hit me last night, that somebody innocent, some sweet person, is involved in something that they shouldn't have been in. And it's just not good. And I would hate to have that happen to my children. So it really hit me, and I really felt terrible. And Mutt and Kim have been like family to me. They really have. They've taken me into their home. They've been great to me on the road. They've been great with the show. And I feel like I broke a tremendous amount of trust with them. And
when was the last time you spoke to Mutt?
I called Mutt twice yesterday and even asked him if he would like me to speak to his daughter because I felt like I wanted to give her a personal guys, come on. Personal apology to
and
her.
what did he say?
He said, just let things mull over. He goes, we'll take it.
How's she handling it?
He said he's not exactly sure because he was on the road a lot. He said, but Kim was home with her. And it appears that, you know, they're really, really good about the whole thing. And, you know, Mutt wants to move forward. And the last thing he wants is
forward or away is another way.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. But you know, I'm grateful to know people like that who understand my stupidity sometimes, and they gave me a pass on it.
Is the Mutt relationship damaged beyond repair? Do you think he'd ever invite you over again?
I hope not, but you know, I wouldn't blame him if that was the case based on what had happened. But
do you think Mutt would ever invite him over again?
No.
Yeah. Right. Richard, how was your office mate this morning?
He was worried, and I tried to calm him down like I always do. He just said, I'm just wondering if Howard thinks I'm a creep, and Sal was real worried about it. And I said, you know what? It'll like in a few days people will forget, but it'll be a big subject, for the next few days. But it'll be all right eventually.
Do you feel like you've learned your lesson?
I feel like if I'm going to do something, whether it be with Richard, with Gary, with anybody associated with the show, keep it within the show. That's what I've learned. And if somebody else wants to be involved, then I have to make sure that they're definitely involved and they're above age, and I'm not doing something stupid like flinging around panties and sniffing them. So, yeah, I've learned my lesson.
Or putting up people's kids on their websites with giant teeth.
Right. Well, I didn't do that. That's way back when. That was actually a picture circulating for a while.
Right, but you put it up on your website. I had to have
right. And I took it down immediately.
It was a picture of a baby with giant teeth, and he wrote, this is Gary's son Jackson.
Well, the thing is, that was actually on a message board back then. It was it didn't say Jackson or anything. It said Baby Bowie on
okay.
it. Yeah. But when you called, I took it down immediately.
You did. The other thing I think Sal's up against is when he comes in and talks in that voice, everybody immediately thinks that he's full of shit. And do you realize that when you're doing it? Because some people, I think, are assuming that you're being insincere when you're trying to be sincere.
Well, here's the deal. When I'm on the show, I'm high energy. That's what the show brings to me. And when something like this happened, I'm down. And if you're down, you're going to have a different cadence. And that's exactly what I had. But with the apology, the racist apology, sure, I put on that voice because I had to express sincerity. I didn't feel it. You guys heard me behind
the feign sincerity.
Whatever that means. I don't know what that means.
You had to pretend to be sincere.
Right, because I didn't believe...
You weren't believing that you were wrong.
Right, I didn't believe I was wrong. Today, I was just deflated. Today, I have a tremendous amount of grief and guilt, and I still feel that way.
Artie hit it right on the head. I thought Artie had it, even though it was a joke, that really is the voice of the stockbroker calling to tell you that you lost $25,000.
Pretty much is. And I would say $2 million, based on the severity of this one.
Logistics just went down.
Logistics just went down.
Let me ask the room, do you guys think Sal was being sincere during that entire clip, or did it kind of grow on you? JD?
I think he was sincere.
Yeah.
Richard?
Yeah, I mean, there were tears there, so you can't fake that.
Yeah, I think he was. I really believe he was sincere. Even yesterday, too.
He's not that good of an actor.
Jason?
I think he was sincerely sorry, but it also sounds to me like somebody explained to him last night what he should be sorry for and really beat it in his head.
The question is, that is a really good point, because the question becomes, are you sorry because everyone told you you're wrong, or do you recognize that you're wrong? There's a big difference.
I totally recognize I was wrong because it hit me, like I said, when I was laying down with my children. I'm looking at them and going, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? I mean, I like to have fun on the show and stuff, but I spoke to Mutt several times about the incident, and I wanted to extend my personal apology to her as well. And that's when it really hit me, and I said, you know what? I was picked on in school all the time, and I know what it's like. It's absolutely terrible, and it's not fair to put somebody in that position for the sake of a joke. And that's exactly how it turned out to be.
Did it feel any better to tell that story about your aunt and kind of get that off your chest?
I still don't know if that aunt thing really impacted my actions. It's fucked up. I never talked about it before, and I don't know where that is taking me in my life. So I have to talk to somebody and figure it out.
Are you going to see somebody? What steps have you taken?
I spoke to my sister yesterday, who's been seeing a therapist for quite some time. So I think on next Monday, I have an appointment.
That'll be interesting.
In Long Island. Yeah.
So you're following Artie's advice to go seek professional
No, I'm
help.
following my heart. I'm following what I feel right now, and I'm reflecting back on all the things that I've been through, and I think it's time to see somebody.
Matt in Portland, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hi. I want to stick up for Sal a little bit. I'm not even a real big fan of Sal. In fact, about the only guy on the show that grates on my nerves more is Ralph. But it just seems like there's a huge double standard that's being applied, because a guy like Sal, Sal is Sal. You can't turn that shit on and off at your whim or at the whim of your boss. And that's what Howard needs to understand, and a lot of other people. If you want the good things that Sal brings to the show, you've got to understand that other shit's going to go on. And if you want to muzzle Sal, or if you want to tell him he's got to stop that stuff, then that's fine. But you've got to be prepared at the same time. His bits probably aren't going to be as good, because he's going to feel like he can't, go as far as push the envelope as he wants to.
I disagree with you. First of all, I think that Sal being muzzled or not feeling he can push the envelope is going to last about a week, and then he'll be back to himself. Not saying that he's going to do this again, but he'll be back to his own self in no time at all. And there's a line, it's not a double standard for Sal. I think if if Richard did it, we'd be as creeped out as well.
Right.
No. I'm not saying it's like the double standard being applied to Sal, like, specifically. I agree with
you're saying that we
if
want...
Richard had done the same thing, it would have been... I'm not saying you guys are picking on Sal. I'm not absolving Sal of any responsibility. It was a stupid thing for him to do.
Right.
So let's not, don't mistake what I'm saying as saying that he's not responsible, because he's absolutely responsible. He bears more responsibility than anyone else. But what irritated me was, I think it was even, I could be mistaken, but I thought it was Gary said.
Yeah, and they jumped on me pretty hard.
We're a little bit responsible too, and then Howard said no, and Howard's wrong, because Howard sits there and he eggs Sal on, and he laughs harder than anyone else when Sal's sticking his finger up Richard's ass or spitting on his cock or something.
Right.
But at the same, it's an unrealistic expectation.
Yeah, Matt brings up something interesting, Gary. When you were in there and you said, you know what, maybe we're a little bit to blame, and bam, everyone was like, what are you talking about?
I think I was probably not entirely correct, although I think what this guy is saying is really true, that Sal wants to please Howard so much that when he sees that smile on Howard's face, it fuels him. But that doesn't mean that Sal shouldn't know the difference between right and wrong.
Right.
But it does. Sal sees Sal might do something that he thinks is wrong, but that he'll also think will make Howard laugh, and he doesn't know the difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this will be great for the show. Jace, what do you want to say?
What Sal did in this instance wasn't a bit for the show, and I think that's the major difference.
Right.
And you could tell that he didn't run back in on the air the next day and said, hey, guess what I did at Mutt's house this weekend?
Right, and that's the big difference. It's me still being a goofball, which I do, but it was a different circumstance. It wasn't on the show, and that would never absolutely go down on the show in Howard's presence. So
if you do that explanation one more time, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
Hey, in the scheme of things, Sal, now that you're reformed, you're a changed guy.
I'm not reformed.
You're a changed guy, but you've seen the light. You know what you've done wrong. Now, surely you've done much worse things. And I think it's time to to say what you've done. It's time to get it all out.
I've praised you as being funny and talented.
Oh,
I'm only kidding, Richie. No, there's really nothing else. The only thing
that's not the worst thing. Is that the worst thing you've ever done? You're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've never done anything else you haven't admitted to.
No.
That's the only thing.
And you know what? The sad thing is that people who do these things keep them to themselves. And that's the weirdest advice I've gotten. If that went down, you should have kept it to yourself.
You should have. Somebody called about that yesterday. They said, you know what, I really admire Sal because he's the only one who admits on air that he's doing this. So I guess, do you think that all of us do stuff like this, but you're the only one talking about it?
I don't think all of you do. I think everybody has, we've heard it before, skeletons in the closet, so to speak. The reason why this came up is because, again, I didn't recognize it as being that severe until yesterday, until it all came and hit me.
So do you think it's the worst thing you've ever done?
Yeah, it is probably the worst thing I've ever done. I mean, unless you can find something else.
Well, it's the worst thing that people have pointed out to you that told you it was wrong.
You may have done something worse than not knowing.
Yeah, I raped an 8-year-old. Is that the answer?
No, but I mean, you didn't think this was wrong until other people sat you down and told you it was wrong. So what else have you done?
Based on the circumstances, what went down at the time, I didn't think it was wrong. Like Joey Booth said, he called in. It was goofing around the house. I took it a step further. I took it too many steps further. We were goofing around in somebody's house. We were teabagging Richard when he was asleep, taking pictures. We were just fucking around.
As if that's okay.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mind.
And we were upstairs, and then that incident happened with the underwear, and that's where I went too far, and I offended somebody who shouldn't have been involved.
The other thing is, one day you're gonna. I'm not even joking when I say this. Teabag the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you that Sal and I were in L.A. about a year ago.
Ron Jeremy, right?
And we were out at this club, and we were all outside and hanging out and drinking and everything. And Ron Jeremy and a bunch of girls were sitting on the fire escape. And Ron wasn't even talking to Sal, knew Sal from the show, thought he was amusing. And I sort of turned around, and when I glanced, Sal's balls were on Ron Jeremy's head. Like he got on the steps above the fire, on the fire escape. And I'm thinking, he could turn around, punch you right in the ball sack, and that would hurt a lot.
But it does ruin the joke if you ask permission first.
Sage advice from Benji. Let's go to Jenny in Phoenix. Hey, Jenny, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, I just want to tell Sal to quit allowing you guys to convince him that he's sick. I get Sal. I'm the same way. I'll do anything for shock. The only thing he did wrong is he did it at Mutt's house. It wasn't sexual when you guys are all voting yesterday whether you think he got pleasure somehow. I know he didn't.
By the way, I'm I'm one of the few people here who's not giving up on that theory. I still think that there's a small amount, and this is my opinion, of sexual gratification that you get from that.
No, I know there's none. There's none.
How do you know? You're not Sal.
I'm just like Sal. He did it to shock Richard. The only mistake was that it was Mutt's daughter.
How much time have you spent with Sal?
I listen
None.
to Sal every day of
but
my life.
listening to Sal and spending time with him are two different things. I think I know him fairly well.
I know
certainly
you
know him
do.
better than you.
All you do is analyze him every day. That's all I hear you do.
Yeah, because all we do on the show is analyze each other. That's why you like the show.
There's no doubt that Jenny.
I just want to tell him I have faith in him. I know it wasn't sexual. He did it for Richard. I'm just like him, and he's fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it, but the thing is that Gary's right in the sense that I'm a pervert. I love porn and I love all that. I mean, I'm a guy. I love that stuff. I like a lot of crazy things that go down in porn, and I do sniff the Sibian pieces and stuff like that because to me, if there's a hot chick on there, like a hot porn star, I'm just curious what a vagina smells like, and that's my only opportunity to do it. But at the same time, I'm also a prankster, and I do idiotic, stupid things.
That's true, too.
Right. So it was with the underwear incident, with Richard being there, it was a goof. It was one to kind of up another, the stupid shock thing, and it came back to bite me. So that's the way it went.
Hey,
but
Ralph.
I'm not denying I'm not a pervert.
Hey, Ralph, you got the final word on this.
I just, from the word go, like the other caller said, you encourage his behavior. You can't, it's like football players, they're going crazy, they're doing this, and then somebody bumps them and they get in a fight and people wonder why. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't think it was a big deal going into it. Sal was goofing around. He was not in there jacking off with her panties on his head or something like that. He picked it up, he made a joke. I didn't think it was that big a deal. I think you guys, one of these things you guys amp up, you get him crazy.
No, can I say something, Ralph?
Let me finish. I don't think Sal is sorry. I think it's another thing. He's amped up now, and he's looking for more attention, so he's crying, and he's in
I am?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go in the studio today, Ralph. I was telling Brian Phelan that...
No, he's not accusing you of anything. He's just saying that we're picking on you so bad.
You mean he means like your plan worked to get into this level.
Plan.
I know.
That's not a plan. I think it's in that center of your brain that needs that attention, because if you don't go in the studio, or if you know what's going to happen. It's like when you did something and Scott Greenstein got upset and you were freaking out and it was really, you were like, I'm going to get fired. You amp yourself up. You get crazy over this shit.
But you know what? The difference, Ralph, is that when these guys are amping me up in Howard's house, his studio, that's one thing. I did something where I disgraced my friend's family by being a jerk, by being a goofball, and that's what I have to stop that.
Ralph, I got to say one thing here, and
people have convinced you of that, Sal. You really didn't do it.
Hold on a second. Crazy. The reason why I don't think you can fully understand this, and I think most people would agree with me, you don't have kids. You don't have children.
I have a sister.
It's not the same. Your sister's a grown up.
I can relate.
But you can't, because you don't have kids. Because kids, even though you would say 16 isn't, is a grown up, it really in a lot of ways isn't. And you have to have that.
She's 17? Wait,
she's 17 now. But you have to have that unconditional love and protection for somebody to sort of understand this.
Yeah, but it's because you guys make a big deal about it on the air that it becomes this big thing. It's not a big thing.
Well, it's not a big thing to you.
He was there with Richard. He just picked him up and put him in his face. It's not like you know what I mean? You didn't run.
So if he was at your house and he did it with your sister's underwear, no biggie.
Nobody would have even known about it if you didn't talk about it.
Right, but if he told you that he did it to your sister's underwear, would you care?
I had a friend who did it to my sister, and I got pissed off. And
okay, so then you agree it's wrong.
No, I did. It's not. It was being goofy. No, I don't think it was wrong.
Ralph, if you or anybody else was goofy like that with any of my daughter's stuff, I'd kill you. And that's what I think Gary's trying to say. You got to take that perspective. You tell me when you found that out about your sister, you didn't get pissed off at all? You didn't, that didn't rock your world in any way?
No, I told, it was a goofy way. We were playing cards. This friend of mine, I was like in high school or something. This friend of mine ran into the laundry room and grabbed this pair of my sister's panties, and I don't know what he held them or something like that, and we were all, yelling at him, and, it was just goofy shit. It wasn't like he was in the bathroom jacking off with them on top of his head, That's pervy. That's something to get upset about. He's there with Richard, and he's fucking around. I mean, that's Sal. I mean, and if that's what you get, if you invite him into his house. Remember, he went to somebody's party and took a shit in the top of their tub?
Joey Boots took a shit in my mother's toilet, right?
What's that?
My Joey Boots did an upper decker
I mean,
in my mom's house.
When you invite these people to your house. I mean, I wouldn't have, no offense, I wouldn't have Sal at my house because who knows what the fuck he would do.
Right, but the thing here is that I got involved with somebody that shouldn't have been involved, and it's not fair to that person, so that's where it's wrong.
You don't have to break down it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, it's that thing where everything just gets super amplified here, and it gets ridiculous sometimes. And I think it's just ridiculous to just go on and on about this and breaking down. You know what I mean? Come on.
All right, thanks, Ralph, for going on and on about that.
Can't wait to see tomorrow's email.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Artie Lang's Beer League premieres tonight. We're going to talk about the movie. Going to talk about how Jessica is going to get there, and will we see JD on stage? You're listening to the Wrap-Up Show on Howard 100 and Howard 101.
You're listening to the Wrap-Up Show, a recap and behind-the-scenes look of the Howard Stern Show.
Wow, cool.
Be interactive. Call in 888-STERN-100, 888-STERN-100. The Wrap-Up Show with John Hine and Gary Delabate.